Hi everyone. We're back on the sixth, I guess. Yeah, you're the sixth lecturer or teacher or artist, whatever you prefer to be called.
All of the above.
All of the above that I interviewed.
Okay.
Okay. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Timothy Wan. I am an actor in Singapore, and I also lecture at NAFA.
Yes, and I'm Timothy too.
Yes?
Sorry.
That joke has been said for many years.
I know.
Many years.
Okay. Oh my god, I look like just wake up.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Okay, so like I said, the reason that I asked for your time, thank you first of all for your time, is I have this personal curiosity and concern about balancing life as an artist and life as a teacher. And you did ask me a question: why as a artist and as
Why a teacher?
why a teacher and why not
Something else.
something else,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And that's exactly how these questions grew. Because I formulated these questions, and initially I was like, okay, life as an artist and life as a teacher only. And then as I formulated these questions, it became like a dream versus reality kind of thing, you know, like, which is something like that's very basic, especially when it comes to art industries. So, okay, before we go with anything, I just want you to react to the sentence.
I react.
Yes.
Okay, come.
Yes. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be safe because you're the sixth person, like I said. Okay, react to the sentence. Art teachers are failed artists.
No lah.
That's a very quick response.
No.
Okay.
I don't think they are.
Okay, sure.
Because I think to be a successful teacher of the arts, I think whatever discipline it is, I mean, we're talking about, obviously we are both in theatre, but if you talk about music or even fine art, actually any sort of teaching of a craft, I think you have to have a certain level of skill or ability.
Okay.
If not, either I feel you wouldn't last very long as a teacher, or that eventually the fact that you can't back it up will catch up with you. You know what I mean? Somebody will eventually come along and say, I don't believe that you can teach. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I feel like any teacher who has taught for a substantial period of time has to be able to have certain kind of a level of ability or skill.
I'm pretty sure you know where this come from, like this kind of sentence, right?
Yeah.
Because I know there are a lot of people who said, if you're a successful artist, why are you teaching? You should be creating more and more work, more and more art, and you can sustain your career there. Why would you teach, right? But along the way, I started to realize that a lot of good artists or artists per se want to teach, want to share whatever they have, their experience, and it's good to have. I mean, one of the criteria to be able to teach here, I think, especially in NAFA, is that you have some certain experience elsewhere, right? And guess what? You're the teachers are the only source for us to know what's happening out there in the industry.
Yep.
Okay. So, by the way, Tim was not my lecturer per se.
I didn't teach Andang. I didn't teach.
But I did join. I mean, we're in a workshop that you held. So we can get to know one another along the way. And then my question would be, do you want to be a teacher, or a teacher, a lecturer since the very beginning, or it's that thought of being a teacher came later on after you become an actor for quite some time?
Okay, good question. I think, going back to whatever you said just now about how it seems that actually there are a lot of teachers who, or rather actors or artists who have moved into teaching. I think there are a couple of reasons why. I think number one, as I think teaching itself as a skill, it actually forces you to have to, I think, concretize, or you have to refine what you think about art.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's difficult for you to go into a class and tell students who absorb everything, right? Like students they like you said, they are there to experience the full thing about whatever the teacher can tell them.
Yeah.
So if you are not sure about what you are telling them or teaching, then it can definitely turn out really messy or confusing.
Yeah.
So I think number one, the skill of the skill of teaching has to be that you as an artist has to first know what your process, or what you want to give away as a kind of a lesson or a point for people to then take on. Not that it has to be 100% correct, because I think.
Oh my god, sorry.
Okay.
My mic is out.
Okay.
Can you give me your mic?
Can.
Okay, so we'll
Hold
do
it.
this.
We'll just hold it.
We'll do
Yeah,
this.
we'll just hold it.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think that like it has to be something that you pass on, or I share with you, and then at some point you decide for yourself as a student, does it work, does it not work, and then that's a discovery process.
Okay.
Yeah. I think also it's a practical thing lah, like that there will always be, I think as a artist, there will always be opportunities that come and go. So there will be periods of time where you don't get work all the time. Work meaning a production, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you're not
yeah, yeah.
performing all the time, unless you happen to be really, really fortunate or really lucky lah. So I think there is a reason.
Is there a lot, like in Singapore,
I think
people who can sustain their career only by acting, by gigs?
Probably. I mean, I think there are. Also, sometimes people don't want to teach. You know what I mean? So they might find other things. They
Okay.
could be part-time hosts or MCs. You know, they could be a voiceover artist.
Okay.
Some people, I mean, like you could do any other part-time job essentially, except that you have to find something that can allow you to have the time to still practice your art, right?
Yeah.
So I think one of the reasons why a lot of artists go into teaching is because it's just an opportunity to fill up pockets of time that are not performance or performing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you want to be a teacher from the very beginning?
I would say I didn't think about it until
Okay.
I was approached by NAFA to
Okay.
start teaching a module. So of course, in my own personal career,
Yeah.
I have taught classes mostly for teenage, like secondary school
Okay.
or
CCA?
not really CCA. It's usually drama and curriculum. So like schools would want drama teachers to come and use drama to help students learn how to express themselves better, or to learn something about a piece of text or a story. So, but those are very sort of like surface level.
And that is
teaching.
after how long have you been acting?
I would say actually quite immediately out
Oh.
of university,
Okay.
I already started doing some classes. Partly because I think there is a huge demand for drama education
I
in
heard,
Singapore,
I
especially
heard.
for younger,
Yes.
primary school, secondary school level. So I think a lot of artists do it as a rule of thumb, and then,
Yes.
but for me, thinking about teaching as a on a higher level, especially, I think for teaching people who want to be artists or people who want to be performers, that probably came in a little bit more when I was with the ensemble at 9 Years Theatre.
Okay.
So 9 Years Theatre is a company that focuses a lot on actor training, and we used to have an ensemble of actors who would train regularly, maybe like once or twice a week for the entire year, outside of doing productions, right? So
And you're there for like 5 years or so,
yeah,
right?
5 to 6 years. So a big part of it was that in addition to that, the company would also conduct classes for people who wanted to learn acting. Maybe they are actors, maybe they are sort of like just people who are interested as a hobby.
Okay.
So they come for these classes, and then I think part of the process for us was also that as the ensemble, we then started to help out with the teaching process. And I think that is kind of where it started, where I started to think a little bit more about how I want to pass on what I have discovered or what I've realized in my own process. Subsequently, when NAFA approached me to teach a module, it was because the module was the subject that one of the training methods that we did a lot of in 9 years, which was the viewpoints.
So because my next question would be, is there any time where you contemplate and you think like, oh my god, I have to sacrifice whatever my dream is, so-called dream is, and I just have to be realistic, and I have to compromise per se, maybe, to be able to sustain life.
Definitely. No. I think it's a
Okay.
super valid question. I'm 36 years old this year,
Oh my god.
and I think when in an earlier stage of life, especially just after you graduate from university, it's easier to not have to think about very real concerns, which are like finances, having enough money to pay for life, house,
my god.
bills. So those things can kind of the pressure is not so big. So you feel like you can just chase your dream, right? And I think you can do that because sometimes that happens because sometimes chasing your dream is not always going to be the most sustainable or ideal or profitable kind of a thing. But of course, when you get to an older age or a later stage in life, and then these things kind of creep up on you, right? And you have to think a little bit more because you have other things to concern yourself with. So there will always be a point in time when you kind of have to make a choice between what I would like to do in the most ideal situation versus what I practically need to choose or to accomplish. Does it mean that, I think the question to ask ourselves is, does that mean that we are any less of an artist or a performer if we choose to do so? Maybe, I think it's easy to think that people who don't perform all the time or who don't practice their art all the time are therefore less of an artist, like kind of like the first question you asked. But I don't think that's necessarily true because at some point in time, I think there is a certain there comes a certain realization that art is not entirely equal to performing. Okay, so it's not. I think this is my personal opinion, right?
Okay.
I don't think it means that you have to constantly be performing on stage in a production to be qualified as an artist, right? Because at the end of the day, a lot of other things come into the picture that make up whether or not you're an artist. The kind of discipline or the kind of perseverance that you put into your craft, I think is one of the things, and also how how much you feel for whatever you're doing and what kind of an impact you want it to have on other
And
people.
that is an artist.
Yeah.
For you.
Yeah. So I think, and I quite like to tell students this because because I teach at the degree program level, and for a lot of them, they, after taking the module, they are going to graduate quite soon and go into the workforce, right? And I think a lot of them have the question in their hearts that is, what if I don't get work as an artist, or what if I don't get to perform? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I then am I not counted then as an artist? And but I kind of want to tell them that I think you because everybody has different priorities, right? Some people may need to start work more immediately. Some people don't really have to, depending on whether they're lucky enough to be in that situation.
I agree.
Yeah. But on top of all that, I think I tell them not to think that part-time work or part-time art is any lesser than full-time. Yeah, it doesn't
That's
mean that you
interesting.
have to be rehearsing 8 hours a day to be considered a professional. You know, you could be doing a day job and you only go for rehearsals at night, and you can only create a production after 6 months because you need more time as compared to somebody else. But that doesn't mean that your art is any less than somebody else who is involved in a full-time production.
That's an interesting insight, because usually people need to be considered as something. Then in this case, as an artist, right? And it is important for us. I mean, especially maybe for me, the younger artists, to be able. Okay, I have something to chase. I have something to do.
Yeah.
And later on, at one point of time, oh shoot, like what you said, the dreams can't pay the bill. Yeah, that's the harsh reality of it.
Yeah.
I came from an acting school, right?
Yep.
And there was one solid moment that I remember, is that one person from an acting school, one student from this acting school, asked some of us, right?
Yeah.
Asked like, so after this acting school, what do you want to do, right? And to me, that question sounded weird, because wait, we're in an acting school. I thought it's pretty clear for us in terms of the things that we want to do, right? And the guy who asked this question was like, oh no, because I don't think this kind of thing is sustainable. And I was like, me as a person who just joined that acting school, I was like,
Right.
oh my god, so this is maybe the reality that I must face, right?
Yeah.
Because you mentioned something about being lucky. Maybe I was kind of lucky, and I didn't really have that kind of concern yet. And now I kind of have.
No.
And that's why I do this kind of interview,
Yes,
to have the kind of insights from the people who've been here for so long, right?
Well, I think I think obviously it's true for different people, but at the same time also, things are changing in a way. Back when I guess back when I was in university, the only reason I went to NUS, which is the National University of Singapore, and I was in the arts faculty, but I didn't study acting, right? As in, my goal at that point was not to become an actor, and I didn't enroll in a course like NAFA or LaSalle, where it's a diploma in performance or a bachelor's in acting or performing. In fact, my course was very much academic, writing essays and
Paper.
and although I majored in theatre studies, but
Yeah.
but it's a lot of understanding about history and writing about performance as opposed to learning how to be a performer.
Okay.
And that was because at my time and in my time, I think choosing a career in the arts is number one not so popular because your parents tend to tell you, "Oh,
Yeah,
there's no
yes.
money," blah 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 blah.
Especially Asian.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a very real concern because they also recognize that actually the industry is not so fully developed as compared to places like
Yes. Yes,
the
of course.
States or in England. And then so now looking at things, actually in my time there wasn't even they had not even begun doing a degree course in certain like NAFA or LaSalle.
Oh, yeah,
so it
yeah,
was
yeah.
purely a diploma, and then I think a lot of people, the concern is we just want to get a degree,
Yes,
to be
yes.
safe, right? But now it's a
Something
bit
that's
different.
very Singapore, something that I learned.
It's very Singaporean, yeah. So, but
Yeah.
it's quite different now in the sense that like I see more and more young people willing to enroll in a degree program, even if they are not super passionate or super sure that they want to become an actor. And I think actually that is a good thing because in number one, it means that more Singaporean parents or the generation,
parents.
the older generation is actually a little bit more open-minded to the idea
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you can just study the arts and actually it's still beneficial. Even if I don't see a very strong sort of economic reason to become an
Yes,
actor,
yes,
right?
yes.
And also I think for younger people who are actually studying the course, it helps them to then know whether or not it really is the path they want to take.
Yeah.
And even if it isn't ultimately, it doesn't mean that you study an acting course and you have to become an actor, right? It's just like somebody who studies science does not have to then become a scientist. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
like there's
Yes,
still
yes.
you could go into a business that is revolving around the thing that you're interested in. Maybe it's science. Maybe, you know, there could be people. I mean, a lot of my course mates eventually went. Some of them became teachers. Some of them, one of them went to become a prison officer, and you know, it's like, I think
That's a fun acting gig.
yeah, in a way, it's like the way in which he learned how to connect with people. I think helped him to then
Yes.
reach out to the inmates in the
And,
prison.
and that's the beauty of learning acting is like somehow this kind of thing, this method, this whatever we're doing in acting, really usable. It's really usable for any line of work.
It's about connection, right? It's
Yes,
about connection
yes,
with
yes, yes.
people and learning how to get along. I think that's actually a skill that is we don't talk enough about it. I think people kind of think acting is about appearing on a film or a TV show. It is, but that's kind of the structure of it. It's not necessarily always it's not actually the work. Sometimes the work is
Yes,
about
yes.
how do you understand human life, human psychology, and how do you connect with people, right?
And Tim, I just wanna push this further.
Yes.
As an actor, of course, it is very tempting for us to have the kind of spotlight, right? Like, okay, I wanna be on stage. I wanna be the one who cry on stage and people praise me for the acting skills that I have, and I don't know, I wanna have the kind of award for a best actor, best actress, whatever, right?
Yeah.
How do you see that? Was there any thing that tempt you, something like that, and how do you react to that? Are you like the kind of person who it is in a way important, or no, I don't care about something, or so how do you deal with that kind of environment, this kind of environment, right?
I would say, I think especially when I was just a fresh graduate and I had just sort of entered the industry, it was very much in my
Yep.
head that I mean, I never wanted to be a I didn't, okay, some people when they're young they tell you my dream is to be an actor.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there's some people who grow up as a kid thinking that they want to be on
Yes.
stage and they want to be an actor, and I don't think that I never thought that when I was young. I only went into acting because I think it's sort of like, okay, why not give it a try? But I would say even then, like when I started my career, I did tell myself that I want to be the best, because in a way, otherwise, what's the point, right? Like I don't want to
Yeah,
I don't want to do something and not feel like I'm excelling or good at it. So that was kind of driving me, and also I think it's very hard to separate the craft of acting from how you view yourself as a person. So it's very much related to ego, like ego in the
Yes.
senses, not that you're arrogant, but it has to be, you have to have a certain level of belief in yourself and what you're doing. So I think it's hard to not enjoy the attention or the spotlight, and you always want to feel like you have done a good job. But of course, it's a very fine line, because at which point is it about wanting to make sure that the work that you're doing is good versus caring about how you appear, and then choosing to sacrifice or to lose the priority of what the work is about. I mean it's easy to say, but I think it's sometimes difficult to actually
Yes.
practice it. Yeah. There will, I feel like for every actor, there will always be points in your career or your sort of your journey that you would be forced to either do something that makes you feel like you're not enough, or that you have to choose between making yourself more important or making the work more important. And then those are the
Okay.
moments where you kind of decide for yourself
Okay.
that is this what I feel about the art that I'm pursuing. I don't think it's actually wrong to want to be, like, if you want the spotlight to be on yourself, ultimately if you have to make the choice, let's say you have to decide between the work and your making yourself look good, I don't think it's wrong to say I would rather look good. But then is that a decision or a choice that you feel you can be satisfied with after?
Okay.
Like when you think back, do you feel like, oh, I wish I hadn't done that, or I wish that was not the choice I made? Yeah, but if you can live with that choice, then okay lah.
I think we, or maybe an acting industry or entertainment industry, I keep hearing this kind of thing where like, oh my god, this kind of industry is very toxic in terms of people would do things to win the spotlight.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I don't know. You're the one who's been working here in this industry for so long, and maybe you can tell me more about it.
I feel like actually, okay, I mainly do theatre, so
Okay.
I know people who have made similar comments, like you said, about being in, especially in sort of TV and film.
Especially in the backstage, right?
Yeah,
Something like,
because I and then partly because I feel like the the sort of spotlight or the kind of viewership that you get from doing a something on TV or film is so much more magnified as compared to theatre sometimes, that because of that you feel like you have
Screen
to,
time.
yeah,
And stage time.
and TV is everywhere, right?
Yes.
Like the theatre can at most fit 500 to 1,000 people,
Yeah,
something like that. So sometimes the viewership will affect the way in which you choose to live your life.
Yeah.
But my experience actually in theatre has always been that generally everybody is more interested in the process, because when it comes to rehearsing a show, we literally see each other almost every day for a period of
Time.
1 to 2 months.
Okay.
Right? So it's a lot about connecting with each other, and by the end you always feel like, oh, we're a little bit like a family, and I'm sure you felt the same way with
Yes,
your
yes,
class
yes,
when
yes.
you do a production, like
Super true.
and you feel like, oh, we don't really want to stop seeing each other anymore, so that becomes the focus. Of course some people have bigger parts in the show, some people have smaller parts, but I think it has never been an issue that you feel like that, oh, I wish I had no, that's not okay.
Bigger part.
I was going to say, you wouldn't say that you wish you had bigger. I think it's quite natural for people to say like, I wish I had a bigger part, but usually it's not that I wish he didn't have a bigger part and I had a bigger part. You know what I mean? I think
okay.
it's still
Yes.
like you want to do more, and it's very natural because
Yes.
you love it and you're passionate and you feel
Yes.
like you want to achieve more. Yeah.
That being said, I just wanna try to be a bit more silly about this. Would you leave teaching job if you are offered to do something that you always wanted to do?
I guess. Okay.
Okay, have a moment to think about it. You can drink your coffee or something. I'm gonna drink my.
I think. It's okay. I think. I would.
Okay.
As in
There's no wrong about it.
Yes,
by
yes,
the
yes,
way.
yes. I mean, I think in terms of when you say something like something that you always wanted to do, then I think life is too short, lah. You have to, if it appears the opportunity comes along, I feel like you just kind of have to go for it. But if you're asking, do I feel like teaching is not something that I feel strongly about, or that you know what I mean, like I can sort of sacrifice it at any time? Not exactly. I think as I've started teaching, I mean this okay, not counting the years when I was involved in sort of teaching in classes for workshops and everything, this is my third year of actually teaching in an institution like NAFA. I think as the years have gone by, I feel more and more for like I feel more that it's comfortable, but I feel like it's become important to me that to see younger artists sort of go through an education and being part of that education and being involved in passing something on, or at least helping to guide the journey. So I think that is actually part of the work that I feel is important in my life at this stage. Not 100% lah. I mean, like I still think it's important for me to be a performer and to sort of sharpen my skills or my ability, because I feel like that kind of goes hand in hand with I have to be good at what I'm doing. If not, I feel like I don't have anything to pass on. But at the same time, I feel like the process of educating and teaching also helps me to clarify what I believe I want to do in my art. Yeah.
Okay. So the short answer would be yes.
The short answer to chasing your dream, yes.
Okay.
Yes. Life is too short.
I asked Raypo this question. He said definitely.
Yeah.
I was quite shocked about
Because
it.
no, I mean, I think just the idea that like that's the thing you like, sort of the thing you really want, like a chance of a lifetime or whatever it is, like something that you've always wanted to do but have not been able to accomplish it. Like I think
of course.
you just have to, you just have to chase it.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't want to take that kind of opportunity, right?
Unless you're talking about what are the sacrifices that come along.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, we didn't include that as a
So
thing.
if not, then I think.
Okay. My last thing would be I just want to move on from life as an artist to life as an artist and a teacher, balancing those two, to life as a teacher only. Okay, I just want to know your point of view about that, because I grew up. I mean, you can put your perspective as a student as well. I mean, back then when you studied. I grew up in an acting school that's like very how to say, harsh. Okay, it's like a demanding kind of teacher.
Yeah.
But it worked for me. I'm forever grateful for his kind of method to push me to notice the things that I could do more.
Yep.
But I understand not everyone is okay with that kind of approach to learn to be an actor. So my teacher would be like, he would shout at his students, right?
Yeah.
He would shout at his students. Just typical Asian teacher, or maybe just our teacher in general. Like, do better. Can you even act? Something like that, right?
Very very harsh.
Yeah, very harsh. Yeah. So, but we get very close. I mean, I'm really close to him, and I'm really thankful for whatever he was doing.
Yeah.
So, my question would be, is it different now in terms of teaching or giving things with a tough love kind of approach?
I think
And you can answer both as a teacher and back then when you were a student, how? Because I'm pretty sure, I mean, I keep hearing that almost all my lectures were approached with that kind of thing.
harsh
Harsh teaching. So, okay, sorry, before you answer.
Yes.
Because I watched movie, The Whiplash.
Yes.
The Whiplash. You watch
The
movie?
drumming movie. Yeah.
Yes, the movie. My favorite scene is not the very ending scene is very, very great. But I was referring to the scene at the bar where Simon, the actor Fletcher approached met his student at the bar, former student by the way. He was fired because of his acts of being a very tough teacher. But he said to his former student, saying that I will never regret what I did. I will never apologize because I tried. This is my way to create an artist. I'll never apologize for that. There are no two words more important than good jobs. Imagine if you suck on stage and then you say, good job, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. I think it's good enough. And then you'll never try to be better. You'll never sharpen your skills anymore because you think that your teacher said, oh, I think it was good enough, so I think so. Anyway, your answer would be your reaction.
Okay, I guess a couple of things. Number one is things have changed lah. I think clearly, like it's not like it's 2024. Things are very different from what they were like 10, 20 years ago, 30 years ago even, and I think you can kind of see that happening all around the world. It's not like just in art, right? Like Me Too, there's like the woke culture, there's like sort of people being a little bit more politically correct. So I think as times change, the arts has to change along with it. The way in which we approach people can't be the same as what it was. But I think that's a good thing. I think it's good because then we are also sort of like learning to become a bit more questioning or critical about, is this really right? Does it feel right? To, for example, maybe like, you know, like how there used to be stories about teachers would get angry and they'd throw chairs at students.
Yes,
Or
yes.
I mean, is that really right? Like, I think it's good that we're just learning to ask ourselves these questions a bit more and to decide for yourself, is that the kind of environment you want to create? Although I do feel that all that being said, I think the any form of education, but especially so in the arts, because I think there is a chance for artists or actors or performers to really impact audiences. Then you have a responsibility, right, to the audience to make sure that whatever you're doing is up to standard. And therefore, as an educator, I have to demand that standard from you. I don't have to throw a chair at you, but I have to tell you when you are not doing enough. And I think the way in which you communicate that is very dependent on your personality. A lot of people have told me that I'm too soft or I'm too nice to students. Yeah.
Okay.
And I ask myself lah, am I really too nice, right?
Should I throw chairs?
Yeah, or like, should I shout at people?
Okay.
Should I tell people that they're no good? Like, but then I also think to myself like, but that's not who I am lah. As in, I
Okay,
don't feel like I'm somebody who would really like shout it in your face that you're no good. But I just find my own way to communicate it lah. At the end of the day, I think the relationship between a student and a teacher is very personal. Like, there are some people that you can connect with, and there are some people that you just don't manage to connect with. And of course, like you said, like your teacher in the past was very harsh, but you really it really helped you, or it connected with you.
It worked for me.
Yes.
Some other people cried and laughed.
Yeah. And I think it's totally normal. Like you always hear stories about like this clown teacher called Philip Collier, right? He teaches clowning, and his method is for you to shame you or to embarrass you. So
I heard this.
You go up and he would literally tell you like, what are you doing? You are not even funny. A dead person is funnier than you. And you know what I mean? He just makes you feel like you are terrible and you are bad. But that's his method. Is it still relevant now? Depends if you are the kind of person who enjoys that. But if you're not, then you would just leave. You would just cry and go home and like, I don't ever want to do this again.
I also heard that like those kind of teachers actually act
they do it on purpose, right?
They do it on purpose.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it could be that. It could be just a persona that somebody wants to create. But I think at the end of the day, looking at relationships between teachers and their students, when the teacher is very harsh and the student connects and enjoys it, or not enjoys, but he or she appreciates it, right? I think it's one of the big reasons is I think that the reason why sometimes teachers are so harsh, because it's a very fine line between they care, right? They care and they want to see the change, or they want to see you do well. Therefore, the frustration or the anger at why are you not doing more, that kind of comes into play.
When you talk about fine line, I think from a student's perspective as well, there's a fine line between when teachers give something, there's a fine line between constructive feedback and hatred.
Yes, yeah,
right,
absolutely, yeah.
Right. And when I don't know about you, but when you give a feedback, sometimes students, especially in my generation, they kind of mix that with
Like it's personal, right?
it's personal.
Yeah.
You took that personally, which is to me sounds like why, right?
Yeah.
But but you do feel that when you teach, right? Sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. I think, and I think, at least my experience is that if I mean, partly also because, like I told you, I don't really feel like it's my personality to shout or scold, in a very personal attack kind of a way. So for me, when I really feel like there is no hope for you, like when I feel like it's not working, or when I feel like this student is like, I give up. Actually, what happens is then I don't care. Like I stop caring. I stop feeling like I need to help you.
You don't want to help yourself.
Yeah,
then
if
why
you're
do I
if
need to
you're
help you?
correct. If you're not interested, if you're not putting in the work, then for me, I'm just going to, okay, then I will move on. But if I feel strongly that you are capable, or you are able to do something, and I see that you are trying, I will match the passion that you have by caring more, or maybe becoming a bit more harsh, or trying to demand more from you. That is not good enough, do it again. Do you know what I mean? Like something like that. So I feel like a lot of the times you can tell when the frustration or the energy, even if it manifests itself in a sort of like harsh criticism, you can tell when it comes from a place of, I want you to be good, versus I hate you, right? Yeah, versus like, I don't like you and you are bad. I just think, I think students can sense that, and that's why they choose to either go along with it or they reject it. Yeah.
All right. It's already around 46 minutes.
Yes.
Now I want to wrap this up.
Wrap it up.
Before that, just one final question.
Yes.
If you're not an artist, then what would Team 1 be? Not related to any art industry.
Yeah, I think Timothy one would then be he would probably work in some kind of service related job, like
It's like
work at a restaurant, or or like a bar.
as a bartender.
I think or I mean, if I could
Service.
mix drinks, so I think it's service related, because as I've thought about this question all the time, right? And many people have asked me before, and I think my answer in the past would be different, but now where I am now, I feel like because the work that I think I'm doing is about connecting with people,
And you enjoy that.
yeah, and I enjoy that. So I think if I were not to be an actor or an artist, then actually I still want to be able to reach and connect with people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, service. Okay, can you hold this for
Yes,
a
sir.
second? Okay. Oh shoot.
Careful.
Okay, so this
Ah.
I give all my guests.
Wow.
This, and this is not a bribery.
I didn't know about it.
And Tim, don't teach me, and you're not grading me, and I do this after the semester is finished.
Yes, sir.
Even though we have some workshop to do.
Yes. But there's no grade for the
There's
workshop.
no grade for that.
Yeah.
And this is for you.
Thank you so much.
You can open it.
Oh wow. Show.
Yeah, show.
It's a scarf.
Yes, it's a scarf.
It's a
It's a batik.
Very
So-
beautiful batik print.
Yes. Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
For sparing your busy time. Do you have any upcoming show?
Yes, I will be involved in the Wild Rises pantomime at the end of the year. Wow!
The Wizard of Oz. As a? Oz.
You'll see. No, I'm not Oz, but
It's classified. Still classified.
it's not classified,
Oh, okay.
but it's a local adaptation of the Wizard of Oz. So it will be very Singaporean context related. Yeah, but it'll be funny and.
Wait,
yeah.
it's but the title is still The Wizard of Oz.
Yes, it is. But like imagine Wizard of Oz, but set in Singapore.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
We'll see.
Pantomime.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
I didn't know you do pantomime as well.
I mean,
A new skill set.
You gotta do whatever you gotta do.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
See you.
See you.
See you at work.
Yes, sir.
No.